Hi, I'm Kiran Trace. Thanks for joining us today. Today, Decoders, we are going to deconstruct and decode wellness, this multi-billion-dollar industry full of Instagram influencers and YouTube protocols. But let's us all take a look, uncover the dirty secrets, and more importantly, see what is this true, alive, delicious, beautiful thing that we refer to as wellness. Hi, I'm Kiran Trace. Welcome to Humans Decoded, a story of hobbits, fairies, elves, dwarfs, gnomes, and humans. If you get lost at any point, there is a deep dive on all the different avatars in episode 1. It includes notes. Thank you for joining us in a fun little chat about the vast potential of our human makeup. And I'm here, very much in the studio with Miss Cami Carlo and Miss Leela Sutter. Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, live from California.
Can you imagine? So Cam and I are just kind of landing here. Bear with us. We might not always be super on it. Still landing. And I love today's topic. I feel like I'm a wellness advocate. Like it's such a true movement in my being, this love for a body, for a being. And I cannot wait to talk about this. And, especially as in my work, I can see how if there's this great, beautiful caretaking of the body, of your being, it doesn't stay just with that. It spills into all of the areas of your life. It's not just physical body, thrives. So yummy.
It is funny, isn't it? Because wellness, it always feels like we're pointing to the body. We're pointing to the body.
Yeah.
Or the mind or something. But I think, in fact, like, one of the reasons I love the topic and I want to talk about it today is because it's so easy to mask control and different types of control patterns as like wellness habits. So that might be like cleaning. Like you see this, I love watching those Instagrammers that are busy cleaning the house all the time, for taking care of their family, or stocking their car or their Costco haul, and sometimes it can really be like a story of wellness, but it's really just a movement of control.
Yeah, and I feel like when it's coming from agenda, it can be really gross. So when it's like an imposition on the moment because you want to be something better, it just has this like icky feeling about it. So I think it's really cool that we're going to take a closer look under the hood of like what's control or like what's a better sort of movement, like what's true wellness.
Mm-hmm. But before we look at the true wellness, we all have beautiful examples, like each of us have beautiful examples of wellness coming from control. Oops. Do you want to get us started here, Kiran?
I'm happy to. I'm world class in this category of a control sabotaging the whole wellness story. I have decades of practice, and it really begins very early for me as a young teenager, becoming a vegan. And really what I wanted was this structure, like control wanted some structure in the chaos of my life. And this brought in all of this structure for me. And so it felt like a relief, but it was terrible effort. It was so it's such an imposition to my body, and certainly as an elf, I was so sick. I mean, it made me constantly ill.
Oh.
And I did this for 4 or 5 years. And I basically for 4 or 5 years had bronchitis and the flu and very low energy. Like it was just a mess. and one day stopped that, but then just moved into the next ones. Like then it was keto, or then it was like, oh, gosh, give me a program. I wanted it. And the more intense it was, the more protocol involved. You know, like I was doing keto, we're talking about like nearly 25 years ago,
Oh my God.
right? We didn't have a world that you could just go online and pull up keto recipes, you know, and you could just make a fat bomb, right? But let me tell you, the sensation in my body was like relief, because there was so much not safe running, needing some kind of structural protocol for my life, my whole life, as you saying, Leela, like it actually spills everywhere. It looks like it was an eating program, but you know, it literally controls everything. And therefore, not safe had this parameter of which I could filter my life from, and wanted that. And then, you know, it kept moving ahead. It'd be like, you know, I would work with these real specialized nutritionists in different countries, and the world's, you know, one of the world's greatest, you know, acupuncturist doctor. I mentored with her for 10 years. And then I moved to this incredible hormone nutritionist specialist, and I worked with him for 10 years. You know, like all these, like the more intricate, the more advanced, like the more, you know, and it turned into, you know, also there was like body, programs of like physical fitness, you know, there was a ton of weightlifting somewhere in there, and nearly competitive. And there was also, of course, I was a professional dancer way early in my life as a teenager. I did, you know, I studied Pilates with one of the first people to teach Pilates in North America, Diane Miller, who learned it from Joseph Pilates. Like she learned it from Pilates and brought it to North America. I studied with her for 12 and a half years. I spent 20 years doing Pilates. That was 30 years ago, people. Like if there was a program and it was specialized and it had so many elements to it, my not safe was like yummy, 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 yummy. And the optics were like, here's this vegan training, you know, mentoring Pilates with fucking Diane Miller, you know, like the optics look like extreme athleticism and wellness and fitness. And the internal was being completely run by not safe.
But I think what you're saying is so interesting because, yes, it's completely run by not safe and it feels so good. It feels so good. Like knowing that for me, for instance, I'm practicing yoga 3 times a week. It feels good in the body. It feels like there's muscles, it's moved, it's well, the juices are flowing well, you know, like good circulation, all that. And to give that up is like, whoa, to like drop it back into the unknown when movement happens, to not safe or too unworthy who needs to look a certain way is like, no, that's too risky. Let's not go there.
Well, I completely agree. But it's so funny because in there was also like a 12-year training on authentic movement. Like I was a professional dancer in contact improv.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I studied with the founder of contact improv. It's very much about an authentic movement.
Yeah.
And this one of the world's greatest, Judith Coltai and Therese Batharat, these people have big, beautiful written work about just listening to the body and moving from the body. So in those years, I have like 12 and a half years of training with these people under authentic movement, completely initiated from not safe, executed through not safe, and relieving not safe.
I mean, tell me about it, Kiran. Tell me about it. What about you, Cam?
So funny, like, yeah, the optics can be amazing and it's such a good story and I'm sure everybody around you is like, wow, look at her go. Yeah. But then it can sort of feel great in the body, but does it really have results? Like, is it actually doing the thing? And for myself, I've found that it has no fertile ground whatsoever. So if something gets initiated from a pain body, it just falls flat. Even if I sort of follow the protocol for a while, it just gets me back to square one always. An example of that was trying to get rid of hyperpigmentation and a little bit of acne in my skin. Very much a movement of like not belonging. So, if I have clear skin, definitely I will belong. And so off I went to like a really fancy skin clinic, paid for a program, did it for months and months and months, got zero results. Like literally zero results. So you can run it for really long to, exceptional standards. But is it really, I don't know, is it fulfillment? Is it really bringing any?
No, because it's always a sort of this movement of reaching outside of here now. It's like, I want to be over there. I want to be the one with the clear skin. I want to be the one with the muscles. I want to be the one with the, I don't know, incredible hormone, endocrines all really well put together, whatever. I want to be that one. I don't want to be this one. And I think when wellness isn't a movement of control, when it isn't this reaching over there, I want to be over there, I want to be that one, then it feels so different, doesn't it? It's so sweet and loving for this one right here with her little herpes outbreak on her face, me right now. Kiran, what does it feel like to you, Kiran, when it's really just a movement of love?
Yeah, when it's a movement of love, it's initiating from such a different place. And I think the heart of wellness, that's really the definition in a way. It's love. So it has to come from love, not trying to become something. And if it's going to come from love to begin with, it starts just as you're saying, Leela, right here, right now, exactly as you are. For me, with my big apron belly, or the breakout or the whatever's going on, it's like, where is the field of love for this, where we're not trying to get away from this or different from this or leave it, but so that's the first movement. And then it's like, how does action arise from there, from loving care? And, it feels so different. And I think these days, I really, really bring so much love to like I still have supplements and I still have, air purifiers or humidifiers or whatever, my yoga practice or my dance or whatever, like all those trainings didn't, and I mean, didn't leave my system, but how am I applying them, And sometimes I really will, like in the morning or something, I'll look at the supplements and I'll have to say, which one, and there's a moment of really having to listen. And sometimes it really is, it's like if my digestion was beautiful, if my hormones were perfect, if my endocrine system was gorgeous, would I take this digestive enzyme? And if the answer is hell yes, then it's from love. So I take it. If the answer is no, then I wouldn't take it. But I will often have to drop into myself of like, listen, if you are whole, if you're already completely whole, Kiran, and energetically, that's where I'm striving for it. Not instead of not safe, right? Not safe is always telling a story that I'm not whole.
Yeah.
And that therein lies this whole supplement routine that I did for 40 years or whatever it was. So here I am listening, right? Is the vitamin C, would you take it? And so I go through everything like that. The air purifier, the mist, so many things. It's like, if you're already whole, Kiran, is this your choice in this moment?
I love that when it's not about this perceived sense of there's something lacking, deficiency.
I know that we would take a supplement from love, not from deficiency.
Yeah.
Even that,
It feels like it's such a game changer for that wellness movement to come from devotion. And Kiran often points to devotion being such a better motivator and inspiration. And as I'm hearing Kiran talk, I can feel myself just sort of come back and relax a little bit and just compassion for like what's here, what's right now. And I feel like that little movement means that whatever options I put on the table are already going to be a lot more kind of fulfilling and rich because they're coming from here and not a story I might be running about escaping into the next moment and becoming a great person because I'm going to have amazing skin.
Oh, I mean, what you're saying is like drinking, I don't know, this beautiful juice of beautiful golden juice, nectar. Yeah, a devotion to the moment, right, is what it is when you say devotion. And then wellness can look like anything. It's not this one note, like the note of the Instagram influencers. They're like, it's always mindful, it's always calm, it's always relaxed, it's always comfortable. Like, I believe that story for a long, long time. I have a hard time letting it go. Like, don't touch my comfort, people. Don't put me in a messy, chaotic environment. Anyway, but I'm learning now how, and I'm not sure if I talked about this on this show already, but I'm learning now how these intense, massive hikes that are hard, it's not comfortable, it's not pretty, it's not anything. It's a movement of pure wellness. And my mind is blown. It has nothing to do with the story of wellness. It has so many more facets. Like, it's not just one facet, right? And I think that's where we can get hung up also. This, like, I don't know, if I'm not feeling well, there must be a lack of wellness. But what we're saying now is like, no, 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 no. In truth, in actual reality, right? A lack of wellness doesn't even exist. Like, no matter what.
Mic drop. And I feel like it can show up in so many different ways. Like, wellness doesn't have to look like that Instagram perfect picture of health. Like, recently I had a cold and it was my favorite cold. So I was sick in bed for like 4 or 5 days straight. And it was the first opportunity I had given myself in a while to just like relax. All I did was watch Studio Ghibli movies, and just this stream of like light and compassion and presence was just like inundating my room. I mean, it like the party was there. And externally I'm like burning up and there's tissues everywhere. But it was just like so full. So yeah, I feel like it can show up in so many different kind of disguises.
And it's funny how it remains this, like, ultimately, what is wellness about? Right? It's about more life force, more, I'd say, I don't know, an unobstructed flow of life force that can just be this moment. Sorry if that's a bit abstract.
I actually really like it because you're talking about this, like, if we say it initiates from love and the action is towards more life, and we've really peppered in these gorgeous illustrations of how it can look so different. It can be a cold. Sometimes I tell the story of my first year of embodiment, which is a class. P.S. Registration's open. We'll talk about that later, but it's an incredible class. But my first year through, I ate nothing but donuts for 3 weeks. And it was such an act of love and more life because it was hitting the deprivation that the not safe and control had put in for so many years. So this love moving towards more life it's really heavenly.
And these days, to me, like, wellness for this being, the Leela being, feels like, here's this adorable little doll. How do we dress her today? Let's brush our little hairs. And it's just, our beloved decoders listening now are thinking like, okay, this all sounds heavenly. Yes, as you're saying, Kiran, it is. But how can I get there? Like, what are the steps to get to wellness as a movement of love?
Okay, how? Well, always step one is going to be awareness. So I wrote this cool book, Tools for Sanity, that has these 4 steps: awareness, acceptance, alchemy, and alignment. And it's not just fancy talk.
Nope.
It's actually the recipe for everything. And the foundational, fundamental, most important step is the step that everyone wants to step past. And that's the awareness. That's turning to look at your control pattern, at your subtle saboteurs. And, if I had a dime for every person who thought they didn't have a pain body, didn't have belief systems, were pretty sure the problem was everybody else, not them, I would be in my own island in Fuji right now or something, it's very, very self-confronting to look at that. And then, as you were saying, Leela, like, don't take it from me. Don't take this from me. I'm not even going to look because I don't want you to take it from me. And so that's the first step. And it's the biggest step. And it's the most important step. And it's the step that changes absolutely everything. And I think decoders, you guys are getting better and better and better at this. But I would still say there's probably at least 50% more control and subtle patterns of saboteurs that you're letting slip. And it will be much more freeing to witness them instead of ignoring them.
Yeah, it's actually not, it doesn't actually feel good in truth to pretend it's not here. I can
No,
tell
and
you from
yeah.
experience, I tried.
I wish somebody had blown the whistle on me 20 years earlier. Like life blew the whistle on me eventually, but and blew, like actually that's not even true. I would even take that back. Life blew the whistle on me and I kept running the programs. But I do wish that I had a coach out there blowing the whistle and, waving her hands and saying, I know this looks like such a advanced mission of wellness, but it's utter bullshit. This is total bullshit, kid. Get off this trip, pull the rug out from under me, and the way that we're going to see all these saboteurs is with compassion. And so, being prepared to see things means we're going to be prepared to be compassionate towards what we see. And that takes a second. I got a great course, 7 Days to Free Your Mind, that is a really gorgeous hack on how to do that. And that's a course that I send my master's students through even every couple of years. Like it's tricky. It's tricky terrain, but it's worth it.
Amen.
Yeah, I think just like Leela said, if we're honest with ourselves, it's an effort to pretend. It's an effort to run the program. Like it feels like it's going to be really hard to stop and take a look at yourself, but it's actually the opposite. It's such a relief. It's such a relief to come home to yourself. And so much more nourishment is available to you than, an Instagram tyrant telling you to work out more. Maybe you love working out and that'll stay, but yeah, just the gateway to wellness is through love, and I think discovering that is worth all of it.
Totally. And then it's like each workout or each, I don't know, anything is like it's a surprise. It doesn't It's not like I know when I'll work out. I know when I'll eat what. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, it's not like you lose any of it. It just means that when you do work out and it's coming from love, oh my God, the fulfillment. It's like
Right.
tripled, quadrupled. It's like
Yes.
the most like utter win. And here's where I'm going to talk about surfing again. But I mean, like, yeah, to feel my body like fully worked out, like fully like utilized, and then to have a coffee and a donut afterwards, like I don't know a more like a better definition of wellness for me. And it showed up out of the blue. It's not because I was searching for a program that would get me fitter or, you know, more this or more that. It was just like, oh, this is what's happening, and it happens to end with a coffee and a donut, and it's just the best thing I've ever had.
Yes.
Like, yeah, those are the opportunities that start showing up for you when you're coming from love, when you're not trying to escape who you think you shouldn't be. It's like, no, just take a look at who you are. Like, you're already perfect. Like, come and, you know, brush that doll. Like, take care of that. Like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Same with the hikes. Like, to sit there somewhere in the mountains, drink my Coke, eat my Ovaltine chocolate, my favorites. Like, pure paradise. Pure paradise. Like, each cell in the body explodes in love. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, delicious, delicious, delicious. All right, my friends, do we have any updates this week?
Catch up. Catch up times. Tell me a story about what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, so much.
I have a little story. So I don't know. In the last couple of months, there was a big shift, and it feels like there's just a lot of firsts for me. So, like, experiencing things from this perspective or like this shift in identity. And one of them was yesterday traveling on a long haul flight. So, you know, airports, taxis, whatever, traveling from the UK to California. And it was just such a different experience. It was like time became an accordion. It was just so stretchy. And I remember getting picked up in my house by a taxi at 4:30 a.m. Then there was a 2-hour bus to London, then the airport. But none of those things felt like they meant what they were supposed to mean. So it was just like, I felt like I had a personal sort of butler service delivering me from door to door. Because it felt like, I don't know, it was more like I wasn't going anywhere. It was kind of like walking on a treadmill, you know, like having a nice stroll on a treadmill, and then these sort of different images like flashing past, like, oh look, bus, oh look, airport, oh look, I'm accidentally in the fast track security and they let me through, so I didn't have to queue. And yeah, so time just did this like weird accordion thing. I had a 5-hour layover and I talked on the phone with my bestie for an hour, and I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that happened because I don't know where the other 4 hours went. So yeah, that was fun, like discovering, I don't know, traveling without a story, or like traveling doesn't have to be traveling. It just gets to be like another sensation that's being witnessed and a total mystery.
Drinking that in. I feel like this is the best podcast in the world. I'm such a fangirl of Leela Suter and Cami Carlo and our random guests that come in. I love it so much. But I also want to make a note, if y'all want to come to class is starting. Maybe next week we'll talk about some pivotal moments that's happened for us through the embodiment class.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I'd love to.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We obviously love hearing what you think. Your feedback helps us make a better show for you to listen to. So feel free to comment, and you can do it at Facebook, which is the Humans Decoded podcast. And if you're not on social, you can always email any questions to us at outreach@kirantrace.com. And thanks for listening. We love you.